hear me yet, right?
You can't hear me yet, right? Sarah?
All right, folks, welcome to another episode of the Walk-Ons. This episode right here, we're going to cover Urban Meyer. Is he responsible? Are the police responsible? Trump wants to smoke with LeBron and Don Lemon. Kelvin Benjamin had words for Cam, but I don't know why. We got a lot to cover. You know we're going to cover power too. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, like I said, welcome back to the Walk-Ons this week. Right here on the table, I got my man Gary with me. I got
Yo,
Robbie
what's
here.
up?
Glad to be back on the Walk-Ons.
Got some surprises coming for you in a little bit too. Like I said, we're gonna cover Trump got issues with Don Lemon and LeBron. We got Urban Meyer and all these mishaps. Kelvin Benjamin, I don't know what. T.O., the T.O. of fame, induction speech. We got an interview with Patrick Sapp. We got a lot to cover today. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. So, everyone's favorite president has words for LeBron. Don Lemon said Don Lemon made LeBron actually look smart, and that's not easy to do.
Well, let's put it this way. If you say anything negative toward this president, you better watch out because he will tweet right back at you.
Listen,
Yeah.
this was just ridiculous. Like,
It was the
The
CNN
same week he
anchor
opens the
that,
school.
that said that had the quote, right? That the CNN anchor had the quote that
Well, no, LeBron
had
said
plenty to
basically,
say.
because the show was about trying to represent his new school and get the word out on what he's doing and his community service, which I'm very happy that he's doing. I'm not a LeBron fan as far as playing goes, but he does a lot for his community.
Yeah.
So instead of staying on topic, Don Lemon asked him about his favorite president, and he basically said that the president is kind of dividing the country, which I do agree with. Now, that may not be your opinion, but I do agree with that. So anytime you say something negative toward the president,
It's always going to be met with
it's
response
always
of
going
this
to end
nature.
back in a response.
This is true.
And so his response to me, I took it basically as a shot at African Americans, because when he tweets these type things, he always says they're stupid, they're dumb, and I just see it again that's what he did in this situation.
Listen, all I know, Don Lemon is always here for the smoke. Doesn't matter what you
Trying
had
to
to
stir
say.
it up.
He is always here for it. If you didn't see him before, you should already know this is where he comes from. He's ready anytime you got something to say. He's got time for you. LeBron is the same way. Moving on. This season we're gonna start with male cheerleaders in the NFL. How we feeling?
Well, I guess you can't discriminate, but I'm not sure where the market is for. The guys are there to watch the football, or the female cheerleaders. The girls are there to watch the men in football in their white, football pants and everything like that. Not necessarily there to watch male cheerleaders, I don't believe. But
Do you care about cheerleaders at all
Is anyone really watching the cheerleaders other than the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't really know. I haven't heard anyone talk about cheerleaders since I was in high school, honestly. That's not really the focus.
And it's not cheering. They're dance teams to me.
Yeah,
So,
that's what they transformed into.
you know, cheering is getting the spirit up, and
Rah, 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 go team.
Exactly.
I would tell you, I couldn't do the backflips and all of this stuff, but
Mhm.
I cheered in high school. Now, you know, see, I got the little muscles here. I was
Listen,
doing my
you're a
one
Renaissance
hand.
man.
I thought you
I
played
was doing
football.
my
Gary.
one
Now,
and
which
one.
one was it? Did you play or did
He
you
did it
look,
all.
There's all different types of
Did it
sports.
all,
There's different
man.
sports seasons, Robbie.
Okay.
So I was doing the
Year-round-
one-arm press.
year-round
with
athlete,
about
huh? I got you.
120
I
pounds.
got you.
I could
Okay.
do it.
Speaking of football, so the new Madden game had initially taken out the words Colin Kaepernick in one of the verses for one of the songs for the soundtrack, and that caused an uproar. They apologized since, and they say they in the updated version they're going to add the word his name back to the soundtrack. They apologize to him, the artists, the fans, the NFL, all the rest of that.
Yeah, they're constantly updating. Anytime somebody gets an injury, the next week that guy can't play. So it's not I don't think it's a big issue for them to update it. But yeah, that was a pretty.
Was the apology?
Pretty bad
I think it was a
enough?
slight then.
It definitely was. No.
So now, why would it be a slight? Because is Madden now getting into this political arena, or are they just out there to sell their product? So by doing this, then that consumer base, they're losing some of their consumer base, I would think.
They claim that when they gave the information to their employees that they couldn't use Colin Kaepernick in the game, that they took it as we can't use his name either. Now, that's the claim they make. I'm not here for it. I'm not buying that.
That's the easy way
Listen,
out.
listen, I'm
Come
not
on.
buying that at all. At all. Listen, they just got to do better. That's all I know. Now the artist whose song it initially was says he's still going to play the game. He said the apology was enough for him. So hey, shout out to YG.
Take the high road.
He's getting paid anyway, right?
Yeah,
Because I mean, they're
listen,
using his song. So
one way or another, he's getting his check.
Yeah.
All right. 13 University of North Carolina players, including the quarterback, suspended for selling team issued Jordans.
Yeah, tell us, Mr. ACC, what's going on there?
What's going on with your people, Robbie?
Well, I tell you, those Jordan shoes were worth up to $1,000. So these guys, these poor athletes that aren't getting paid, except for the little stipend and the meals and the room and board and the books, they needed some more money. So they said, 13 of them decided to sell, or 13 of them got caught selling these shoes. So
You had to know you were going to get caught. Like, it's not like they're team issued. Like, no one else has these but you.
Yeah. And that makes them even more valuable.
Exactly.
Well, now, is this becoming a pattern for North Carolina? They have the academic scandal.
yeah.
Now they have this going on. I mean, what's going
It's
on with
always-
that
And
university?
they hired lawyers, $18 million worth of lawyers to get them off this last incident. But I think they're ready to. Well, this isn't about basketball, so I'm assuming they're just as soon see Larry Fedora go down and not worry about this one. Not going to lawyer up this time.
I mean, are they going to come in and bring the death penalty to the football team?
No.
Because that's who they were blaming the academic scandal on.
Yeah, and they went hard after the women's basketball team, but the men seem to skate by
For now.
for now.
For now. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And trust me, we keep having little fires pop up.
If they survive the academic fraud, I don't see what's going to take them down at this point.
Staying in college, Jalen Hurts is a little bit frustrated about the starting job.
And he should be.
So you feel he should be frustrated?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's the best quarterback, but the way it's been handled by Coach Saban, and the way he always is trying to evade the media when they ask questions about the situation and not give straight answers. I think
Does his play previously warrant him having the starting job?
no.
No, and why should he be hurt though? Because your play on the field, in practice or whatever, should tell you if you're number one or number two.
But Saban's comments, they were like, I guess he'll be around. I don't know. It was just
His
totally
comments
disrespectful.
basically were, it's a competition, and let the best player win the competition. So at this point, I don't think he needs to tell him, you're number one, you're number two.
But you know your coach. Like, you have to, at a certain point, okay, this is what he does. Like, this is not anything new. You've been here for more than 2 days. He never answers questions directly.
So was he saying this to say, okay, if you had told me earlier, maybe I would have transferred by now? So is that his underlying situation that he's trying to get across?
It might be. It might be. I don't know. But
because you know he can graduate in December, I believe.
Right.
So, and he'll have another
Go
full
about your
year
business.
eligibility and can play right away. He wouldn't
That
have
would
to sit.
probably be his best option.
That might be the option he goes with. Odell Beckham Jr. is in the news again. So he was offered less than Sammy Watkins. Now listen, I'm not the biggest OBJ supporter, but that's blasphemous. When's the
Yes.
last time Sammy Watkins was
Hey,
relevant?
Tell me,
He's
Robbie.
a big play,
Tell me.
capable guy. If you give him,
Capable sounds like potential.
yeah.
Potential doesn't mean
And
anything.
he's been injured a lot, but let's look for a breakout year this year for Sammy.
How
He's
long
got-
we been
he's
waiting for
got
a breakout
Hill-
year?
He's got Hill on the other side. In the cold weather Buffalo, he didn't have a good quarterback. He was just 1 year with the Rams. Whatever, it didn't work out with the Rams. But when they went to him, he was pretty reliable when he was healthy last year. So I'm seeing maybe a breakout year this year for Sammy.
So why didn't it work out with the Rams? The Rams did great last season.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know the whole story about what happened
So
with the Rams.
you're paying him on what his upside may be. His upside was already
He's
there
got-
when he got drafted.
Yeah, he's got speed to kill, and everybody loves speed. So that's he
So
he
they're-
can take the top off the defense and with your big play.
They're paying him more than Odell,
Right.
who's put up the numbers. Now, granted, he did get hurt last year.
He
But-
did sign his contract.
but
just
prior
like
to
Sammy
that-
signed his contract. So you get what the market will bear.
So his market value is not Sammy Watkins' market value.
That's disrespectful.
As of today, no. But
That's disrespectful.
if he signs a contract for more than Sammy, then it will. It's whatever the market bears.
There is no universe in where Sammy Watkins is better than Odell Beckham Jr. Like it's just not possible.
I'm living in an alternate universe.
You have to be. I'm not. Like, where? I just need
and
to know what
Sammy's gotten a
games
little
you were
weird,
watching.
with his whatever he's.
Now,
doing
I
with
get it that the market gets reset every year because now these players are making more money than Julio Jones, who's my favorite receiver out there. And so, of course, the Falcons are giving him a raise just to keep him and said, well, your contract's up next year, so we'll renegotiate it then. But when they're setting this market value and you're going to pay these players more than a Julio Jones, more than Mike Evans, who's in that same class with Sammy Watkins, he's also making more than Odell. So I think Odell's value should be a little more than those guys. He's put up the numbers, better numbers than those guys in his first couple of years.
Your performance should warrant your pay. Listen, we come back. We're going to talk about the whole situation going on with Urban Meyer, coaching staff, the police, who's responsible, who deserves the blame, what can be done about it. Listen, stick with us. Like I said, we still got an interview with Patrick Sapp coming later about the Hall of Fame induction. Stay tuned. It's the Walk-Ons. Listen, your performance warrants your pay. Like, there's no way you can tell me Sammy Watkins should be making more than OBJ. It's not possible.
Not whatsoever. Not whatsoever.
Like some other players, I might, okay, I understand it. Sammy Watkins?
potential.
Listen, potential does nothing.
Him and
though.
Nuke are among the top 10 receivers, top 10 paid receivers.
Nah, I'm with it on Hopkins because he's
He
You're
stayed,
not-
he stayed
Listen,
healthy.
yeah, I'll go with you if you're talking about DeAndre Hopkins.
Mhm.
When was the last time we saw Sammy Watkins really make a difference on the team?
He had a
Clemson.
good game on Thursday night. That one game I didn't watch him every game last year.
Clemson. That was the last time we saw him be an impact player.
yes.
I'm just saying.
Consistently for a whole year, yes.
Yes, I'm saying. So, like, if you're not consistently doing this every game, why? What are we paying you more than OBJ for? But listen, no.
I'm not a big OBJ fan, but he is getting the short end of the stick here.
Exactly. I'm just saying, I'm the same way with it. I just got to keep it a buck with you.
So hopefully he'll get his money.
Hopefully he gets his money. We shall see. Okay.
What do we tag?
Marcus got us right with the music today. Welcome back, folks. You're listening to the Walk-Ons. Make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms. They're all listed on the side. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. You can get us on SoundCloud, Periscope. Make sure you get us to the podcast on Apple Podcasts. We're on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio. We're now on Spotify as well. Check us out on the website, www.freethinkersradio.com. And also, next Friday, High school game day is back. We are starting out River Bluff versus Fort Mill. We're going to be live and direct to you from River Bluff High School.
Excited.
Make sure you tune in. You can listen to it on the app.
Yeah,
You're going to be hearing these two guys broadcast the game live.
we got this.
Listen,
All right.
you hear those radio voices? This is what you want to hear. Hey, we got everything you need. If you're one of the students out there, make sure you show up. Come take pictures with us. Hey, we're going to have everything on social media for you. Listen, come out and have a good time with us.
Businesses, we're looking for your advertisement dollar, a good rate,
Exactly.
and you can pick your local team and
Listen,
be a,
you
be
want
a
to be
high
sponsored on here?
profile to your local team.
Want to be sponsored? Hey, we got you covered. All right, so let's go ahead and get into topic one. Am I my brother's keeper? Is Urban Meyer responsible for what happened here? Is he responsible? His wife, the police, the two people initially involved? Is the male involved, Zach, whatever his name is he responsible?
I'd put the police a little bit higher up on the food chain since they didn't prosecute 2015 when it looks like from everything that's coming out that it probably should have been some arrest and some charges and some more done in 2015.
Listen, I don't know if he's responsible, but he certainly is accountable, because if this was reported to him and he did nothing, then yes,
Well,
he
held
should
his
be
little
held.
press conference. And
He should be
said
held accountable.
He said he sent it up the chain to the AD. So it looks like somebody's got to go. It may be the AD. It may be Coach Meyer, but I don't think everybody in Ohio State's going to survive because the folks out there, they want some blood. They want somebody to be held accountable.
The
for
dude
this,
did his interview.
domestic violence.
And he was
incident.
mad sketch in the interview. Like, he just looks like a scumbag. Like, I can see that when I watch the interview.
Well, he was not truthful in the press conference. And then, of course, now everyone says stuff like, oh, I misremembered, or I didn't know that question was phrased that way.
Exactly.
So, but I could tell you this. In 2009, when he had the first incident, he did exactly the right thing. He talked to the people, and the couple felt they could work it out. They went to counseling, stayed together. Okay, another incident occurred. If this was reported to him, then he needed to have done more. And by more, I don't know. I know that guy would not have been on my staff. And now, with everything coming through in 2018 with the Me Too movement, these things are really more at the forefront. Now, they should have been at the forefront prior, but now it's really out there. And those things that you didn't do back in the day is coming back to haunt you now.
Yeah, back in Florida, there were a lot of issues. Aaron Hernandez, had some incidents off the field, didn't really get looked at too harshly about him. So,
So it's a
lot of this-
pattern.
Yeah, this is.
I think it's a pattern.
So my question would be, at what point does you being a problem outweigh your productivity?
Well, that's the question Ohio State's trying to figure out right now.
Like, how much,
They-
how
they-
worth it is it to you to keep him as a coach right now?
I mean, the thing is, they would love to fire him for cause or keep him. One of the two, and they're just trying to figure out which one they want
The
to
best
do.
way to go.
They don't
about
want to pay him $40 million to go away.
But now, what about the 25,000 fans that showed up to rally in his
I
support?
think that was 200 is what it was recorded.
200,000.
200
listen.
total. That was
Oh,
0.2%.
Oh,
0.2% of what would normally fill up the horseshoe showed up. And this was a totally unorganized rally. There wasn't even a microphone there. A guy calls him Tennessee something. He's from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Drove up there to organize this rally. I don't think that's a whole lot of support that's going to
Fans just
sway
care about the
anybody
game.
of the Ohio State administration or the 6-person panel that's supposed to come up with a decision on it.
Fans just want the win.
well, that's good, because you should just stay in the background. Because if you're supporting him at this point, I can't make that correlation fully, but
So you're not going to separate the incident from the person. It's all one package.
it's
for you?
all one package for me.
Like, I'm with you.
And plus, you look at Urban Meyer. I mean, he comes out with the press conference on Friday. He says that he basically lied at the Big Ten media days when he said he didn't know anything about a 2015 incident. So when are we supposed to believe you, Urban? You admit that you lied. You got caught off guard by this question that you should have been
Yeah.
prepared for.
But I mean, that coach is raw, dude. That's Earl Bruce's grandson.
That is a connection that's very key to this, because Urban was first job he got was under Earl Bruce, and so he's got some loyalty to that family. Earl Bruce passed away this year, so didn't fire him until after Earl Bruce had passed away.
But does loyalty outweigh doing the right thing, though?
Definitely not. No.
So I told you we had surprises. Opie, what are your thoughts?
I don't know what's going on. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Are y'all
This is how we
Meyer?
come back. This is exactly how we come back.
Yeah, I'm
Took
happy.
a few
to be
months
here.
off, he's back like this. Hey, I got you.
Yep. So
But then
you'll
what-
get the raw opinion
Yeah, just
from somebody that I don't know what's going on. Tell me what's going on.
So take Urban Meyer by himself out of it. How much is a coach responsible for what happens off the field for his coaching staff and/or players?
Everything.
Okay.
You entitled. Not entitled. You are responsible for the development of these kids. They safe bring. These parents entrusted you that you come to their house, to get them to come to your university. So basically, you are the parent. Pretty much, you're the parent for 4 years. So you responsible, especially with football. That's why you got so many coaches. People are like, why you got 1,000 coaches? Because you one person can't, but you are. You gotta me being in it and seeing it firsthand. You got this coach, that coach, and they're all responsible. You having, with football, you have probably anywhere from 7 to about 10 on average meetings just about kids. Where are they going? Who are they going? So by then you know who do what, who tendencies, and you ask, by then you depend on the notoriety of your university, law enforcement, and such and such to keep up with the guys and what's going on. And so you as a head coach, even now with me being an assistant, I'm just as responsible for the guys I deal with as the head coach, but ultimately it's the head coach because everybody know this, we're all grown. Who you surround yourself with ultimately dictates and tells who you are.
Well, when you're in charge of young men as a coaching staff or head coach or what have you, so you're preaching to them every day, do the right things, stay out of trouble. And now you possibly being one of their role models, you go out now and you're involved in domestic violence, you get a DWI or, there's something else going on. And how can you stand in front of those young men and say, don't do these things?
Or when you go recruit, stand in front of mama.
Exactly.
All right, when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation a little bit. Then we're going to get right into the NFL. What is Kelvin Benjamin talking about right now? And we're going to talk about the Hall of Fame. It's the Walk-Ons.
Because you can't be like a do as I say, not as I do person. Your actions speak louder than words.
It depends on what and see, that's what some coaches get in so much trouble for. If you the coach that's saying, look, I'm going to be the coach that's always saying, I'm human, but my character will always shine. If I fall on hard times, I'm not going to be I think that's what Bill Cosby got in so much trouble for, because when he was at the pinnacle, you kind of looked down on people. And a lot of people remember that. If you always constantly looking down on people, that comes back. Because you're not and some people maybe pray for it, and once they get it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm always be the guy that we human, we make a mistake, but I'm not going to try to keep putting myself in these situations.
That's a fact. All right, folks, welcome back to the Walk-Ons. Again, make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms. They're listed right here on the side. All the podcasts come out. Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Everywhere you can find us, you can find us. Playlist comes out every Friday. I got you on all the new music you need. I got you covered. High School Game Day starts next Friday. River Bluff High School versus Fort Mill. We're going to be live and direct. These two guys right here to my right, they're going to be broadcasting live.
All right, we're there. Come out, support your team.
Let's bring it.
Listen, also, Free Thinkers. Every Sunday, 7 p.m., Millennial FM 95.9. You can check out all the Free Thinkers shows every week. And this coming week, we got a brand new show for you. Myself, your man Dave, Second Thoughts. Listen, I can't give you all the details.
Can I get
you gotta
on?
make sure you can actually. You just gotta make sure you tune in this Sunday, 7 p.m. Millennial FM 95.9. You can also catch it on our website, www.freethinkersradio.com, and the app as well. All right, like we were saying, with Urban Meyer, like coaches, you do have a responsibility for these men that you're training up, and also the people that you hire on your staff, because they're also disseminating information to them as well. So you want to make sure you got good character guys around these young men.
Yeah, let me squeeze a Dabo Sweeney quote in. He says, I'm paraphrasing, but he says that you can win all you want, but if you're not teaching these young men to be good fathers and good husbands, ultimately you lose. So
That's a fact. That's a fact.
you create the culture, and if you're willing to, let this guy hang around after multiple incidents, then what kind of culture are you really promoting?
Well, they can say that because at the end of the day, I learned a lot about corporation and then corporate by just, I've not even been in that level, but a lot of people place blame. Now, sports is one where we push it because of the money, and it's always in the front runner of topics, discussion. The guys are always trendy with no matter what fashion, politics with LeBron and Trump. You always get pushed to accountability. And in corporate, you always see blame get passed on. And you kind of see that because right now what you're seeing is corporate with football being one of the biggest sponsors, biggest business booms, football being that, and it's kind of hitting the ceiling with so much going on because you get these, well, if it's so much about sports and teaching these guys, then why is it so much of business? So at the end of the day, yes, Urban Meyer is responsible for, I don't even know what he did himself, and on top of being a model, and it goes on, and on top of the development, like you said, the development of these young men, being young men, and eventually becoming men in the community, giving back to other, it's supposed to be like a paid in full effect. And then you got guys that's over them, and it's all about $1. So that's why you run into these more dilemmas like, is it worth it? Yeah, it's always going to be worth it, but we can always push the blame because at the end of the day, somebody hired Urban Meyer. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm not saying it's not his fault solely, but you got to look. You can't just say the tree not bearing fruit if you're not watering it. At some point, it's somebody blame. But
well, yeah, I mean, I agree with you in some respect because you know what you're doing when you're hiring some of these coaches. A lot of coaches have these show cause in their background that tells these universities, if you hire them, i.e. Bruce Pearl, then you got to show us why you're going to hire this guy when he's already been in trouble for these tactics. So if you're going to hire him, show us why. Give us a reason. Give us a reason.
But I want to take it back to, you just said you have a responsibility to raise these young men to be good, high character individuals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Part of being a high character individual is taking responsibility and accountability, right?
That's right.
I don't know. Like I said,
It's not about
I'm gonna let you get there because I feel I don't know, but I had this conversation with somebody just recently, and I said, look, I'm good with being. I would love to be on the level I got to, NBA, college, but I said at some point, the loyalty, it being comfortable, and what it's really about is not there. So what you're alluding to is, at some point, you yourself got to look back because you got to take account. You got these young men look up to you no matter what you say. They're following your footsteps. If you do it, then they're gonna think it's all right to do it because in their eyes, you're up there.
So that makes me wonder, who was Kelvin Benjamin's coach who allowed him not to take accountability for himself? You cannot come out and say that Cam Newton's not an intelligent quarterback, couldn't get you the ball.
Jimbo Fisher was his coach at Florida State.
Okay.
He also coached Jameis Winston, you remember?
Yeah, so talk about the tree bearing fruit. You cannot show up at camp at 280 pounds as a receiver.
Oh, my goodness.
And not be able to get and run your routes, and then blame Cam for not getting you the ball.
Why not?
Cam thought he had a receiver. Like what Shannon said, he thought he had a receiver.
But
He didn't know he had a lineman.
Offensive lineman.
Look, are you going to give Cam a full pass on this one, though?
Oh, listen.
I know you're a Cam. I know you're a Cam fan
every week.
I know you are a Cam fan because you're a Panthers fan. But look, when you look at the completion percentage of all the starting quarterbacks in the NFL over the past couple of years, now I will give him the pass on the one season he won the MVP, but who was at the bottom?
I don't know.
That would be Cam Newton.
I ain't gonna lie. Ever since this
question,
when he
Colin
says
Kaepernick
that Cam
thing come
Newton is not a very accurate quarterback, he is right on point.
Question: how many 280-pound receivers you got out here running routes for these good quarterbacks that he claims?
No, I'm not giving Kelvin Benjamin a pass. But
I'm just
when
saying,
he says that he wasn't the most accurate quarterback out there, he's right.
Listen, that's convenience.
He is about 6'6".
He's
It's
6'5",
convenient.
6'6", and he's being overthrown. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, Kelvin Benjamin took that Krispy Kreme deal they had with the Panthers to heart. I'm just saying, you can't show up to camp like this and
You
then
was
blame somebody
285?
else.
Opie,
Yes.
how tall are you?
I'm about 6'7", 6'8".
Okay. It would take me like an act of Congress to overthrow you. And Cam Newton was overthrowing a 6'6"
I don't know.
receiver.
Shannon Sharp said it best. Cam Newton was throwing to the spot that Kelvin Benjamin is supposed to be at, but at 280 pounds, he can't get to his spot in the right time. That's not my problem. That's a you problem.
I'm gonna say this. It's a whole lot different when you got guys after you and your offense. I don't know.
Yeah, the O-lineman trash.
I'm not taking nobody's. I'm just saying it's different.
If
I mean,
he wasn't throwing him at his feet, he was throwing him over the head. Okay.
I can vividly remember him dropping passes he shouldn't have dropped either. So
It's a party. Megan, what's up?
Hey.
So what you think? Where we at with it?
Well, I mean, I agree. I mean, his size may have a lot to do with it, but we can't completely say that based on what Gary is saying,
Thank you,
because
Megan.
it's some
Listen.
it's some underlying facts about his what he's been doing.
I have roasted Cam every week. If you follow me on IG, every week I roast Cam. I'm just saying, Kelvin, you don't get to just blame somebody else for everything now.
So we saying if he ODJ.
Now this is OBJ that was on the team,
OBJ.
and then he said this. Then yes,
but it's kind of hard to validate what he's saying because
you was 280 pounds as a receiver.
But that doesn't matter. That
you out here like Jared Lorenzen right now, bro.
You're a whole different. You're a whole different.
That's
now
two
you're tight
people.
end. Now you're tight end.
Two people running for this.
No,
right?
you're a tight end now. That's different. Now you're not supposed to be out there catching because you're a tight end or you're
Zach Ertz trying to run a route out here.
Or right tackle. 285. You're
exactly.
right tackle.
It don't work like that.
6'6",
Now
285.
he was in shape after a while.
After a while, but in that moment you were not. I'm just saying.
But what is your thing for after a while then?
Then
like,
he was okay. You're out of shape once, then you're injured.
So are you gonna say it at some point that so it's no fault to Cam is what you
No, we're not.
No. Cam does have some blame. I'm not.
No, we're just saying it
Personal
for him to say
responsibility.
it is not validated.
Okay, so now Kevin Benjamin is with the Bills now.
Uh-huh.
So is he the number one receiver for the Bills?
No, who the other guy they got?
He's the highest paid receiver in
Bills-
the
the
management's mind. He's the number one receiver.
So he's
in the playbook's
so
mind, he might not be.
He's making the most money, so he should be the number one receiver. So we'll see what numbers he puts up this year.
Who their quarterback?
Well, right now it's a quarterback battle. I guess they'll go with AJ McCarron.
No, you know who the quarterback is
Who's the quarterback?
from Virginia Tech.
No, they traded him to
Tyrod's going to Cleveland.
Who's the backup? The white
They drafted the
Fitzgerald?
kid out of
Peterman.
Wyoming.
Peterman.
And then Allen was drafted in the first round out of Wyoming. So it's going to go to AJ McCarron.
Allen is dope.
All right, folks. When we come back, we are gonna get Patrick Sapp on the phone. Gonna get him on the phone, do an interview with him, former NFL star. We're gonna talk about the Hall of Fame this weekend. Talk about a little bit of Ray Lewis, T.O., some of his time in the league as well. Make sure you stay tuned right here on the Walk-Ons.
So we'll see. If he says he has a more accurate quarterback, let's see what kind of numbers he puts up this year.
Between all three of them, he in the same boat he was in then.
That's true.
You better not be at 285 because he really ain't gonna catch nothing. But another donut deal.
They might. Well, can they move?
Chris McCreery recruiting.
Can they move in the tight end?
He offensive tackle. That 6'6".
Hello.
Patrick. It's Chris right here on the Walk-Ons. You're live on air with us.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're on commercial right. It's going good, man. We're on commercial right now. When we come back, I'm gonna bring you in.
Okay.
Appreciate you joining us, Patrick.
No problem, man.
All right.
Working. So what your boy do?
Which one?
For Ohio Urban Meyer.
One of his staff had a whole bunch of domestic violence issues, and they said he knew about it but didn't report it.
What's new?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's of the norm.
I'm just saying. Ain't nothing new. Okay, Marcus. I see you. All right, welcome back, folks. This is the Walk-Ons again. Make sure you follow us on our website, www.freethinkersradio.com. All the social media platforms on the side of the screen, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. You can get our podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, everywhere you can get it, you can find us. Again, high school game day starts next Friday, August 17th, live and direct. River Bluff High School versus Fort Mill. Two guys, am I right? They're going to be broadcasted live for you.
That's right. We got you.
Listen, every Friday I update your playlist. I get your music right for you. Make sure you tune in to that on Spotify and Apple Music. Free Thinkers shows every Sunday, 7 p.m. Millennial FM 95.9. This week you got me and Dave with Second Thoughts. Obi might be on the episode.
No,
with us.
Mike gonna be there.
All right, hey, you heard it here first. But right now, we got Patrick Sapp on the phone with us for an interview, sir. How are you?
I am good. How are you guys tonight?
Doing good,
Great.
man. Doing
Great.
good. Can't complain. I'm gonna go ahead and get right to it. How was it being in Canton over the weekend with your good friend Brian Dawkins getting inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Oh man, it was absolutely great. It's one of those memories that you will remember the rest of your life. It brought a lot of friends together that I hadn't seen in 20 years or more. High school coaches that I hadn't seen in a long time. It was just a great time catching up with everybody, but most importantly, man, it was awesome to see all the hard work that Brian has done in his life and career, and it just culminates to the highest award in the land. So I was really happy for him.
All right, Patrick, we'll get back to Brian in just a minute, but we also want to ask about you a little bit. And you were a quarterback at Clemson, you're a freshman through your junior year, and you had the nice TD pass to the late Terry Smith to beat Kentucky in that 93 Peach Bowl, and you to complete that 9-win season that year. But after your junior year, you're asked to move to outside linebacker. So how did that meeting go, and was it hard to give up that QB spot, and what convinced you to make that move?
Man, it's really, a lot of people don't know this, but, I got benched probably the middle of my junior year.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just one of those guys that did not want to sit on the bench, felt like I could contribute to the team. So I actually moved to receiver and played receiver the rest of my junior year. And I went to Coach West and asked to move to linebacker.
Okay.
He did not want me to move. But I kind of looked at the roster. We had some guys that was really good that was graduating my junior year. So I kind of knew that position was open for competition. And I felt like I could do it. And after some convincing and talking with him, he allowed me to move to linebacker. And the rest was history. I worked at it and was able to get it done and get drafted.
Yeah, made 4-year NFL career, but you don't see that move often, quarterback to linebacker. You don't see many quarterbacks who play with a linebacker's mentality. I guess you don't see that quite as much. They said it about Jim Kelly, but they don't say that about many quarterbacks.
Tell you what, it was it was a lot of people doubted the change, but for me, I was always physical anyway, even playing the position.
Right.
And so I felt like I played quarterback at 240. So I was a big guy anyway, and I just kind of set goals and worked at it and understood defense already, and it ended up working out for me.
Sure did. Now back to Bryant. Talk about how long y'all have known each other, and describe him as a player, a teammate, and as a friend, and just how you were one of the feature signees, I think, of that class, but he was like one of the last signees to get in. So he goes from being the last signee of Clemson recruiting class to his first Hall of Famer through the hard work he put in.
Yeah, we grew up together since Pop Warner, so we've literally played on the same team and basketball team since Little League.
Wow.
And grew up in the same neighborhood. And so we came to Clemson together, but we went to high school, played on the same AAU teams, won a state championship in basketball together. So we've played a ton of sports together, and we just remain good friends and best friends throughout all of it, most importantly. But Brian is one of those guys that, you always know that this guy was going to be great and good at something that he would do or put his mind to, because he just worked and he always had that attitude that whatever you give me, whatever coach demand of me, I'm going to do it. And so I think that's one of the things that always kept us good friends, because we was competitive with each other and we pushed each other. And we both had that dream of, one day playing professional sports, or at the best, at the worst, going to college at least. And so we worked out together a ton. He was that guy. If we lost a game, he was going to be crying on the bus. So he was very emotional about the way that he went at it. And so I'm not really surprised that he's in the National Football Hall of Fame. But again, that's such a big honor. You never really think it could happen.
Patrick, you got Gary here. I'm the Gamecock fan here on the panel, so sorry about that.
The only
But
Gamecock fan.
hey, you're a great player there back in Clemson at your time there. But speaking of Brian Dawkins, you guys were teammates and good friends, and someone else who was not considered a good teammate during his time in the NFL didn't show up for the Hall of Fame ceremony. What was the buzz around Canton and T.O. not showing up?
I tell you what, man, it was, I know T.O. personally, and, I felt like he should have went to Canton and received that, but it really was not a lot of people, with T.O. jerseys. I think they kind of intentionally not, displayed a lot of his stuff, so you really didn't see a lot of T.O. fans in Canton. And you saw some of the jerseys being sold there. But you didn't hear a lot of people that was there was disappointed that he decided not to come, but you didn't really hear any bad talk or negative talk towards Terrell for not coming. But, I personally, you kind of saw more Dawkins jerseys than anything. Then you saw Ray Lewis was second. And of course, people love Urlacher. A lot of Bears fans out there, and Randy Moss. But you didn't really get a lot of negative things about T.O.
All right, this is Robbie again, Patrick. And B-Dog used that platform to encourage the others who are struggling with depression on that great Hall of Fame speech that he gave. Even talked about having some suicidal thoughts. What kind of don't you think that could have a great impact on people listening?
No doubt. We kind of talked about things that he may talk about before that, and that he was going to send a message, that he was going to talk about things that he felt like he can impact people with. And he just wanted to be honest with his life. He felt like his life is a testimony in a lot of ways. And so, I knew about that a long time ago, but he never shared it publicly, and he shared it on the biggest stage you could share it on. Right. And I felt like at that time that I was like, man, this guy saved a lot of people's lives tonight. I really felt that way. I mean, you had, the Mean Joe Greens of the world on stage crying, during this time when he was talking. I mean, it was impactful. It was strong. I think it was right on time with today's society, especially when you talk about sports and grown men with mental illnesses. And so I was happy and I was moved by it as well.
Yeah, I'm sure it had a great impact and the people that were watching, no doubt about it. Well, Patrick, I guess we'll wrap up now, but tell us about what you're doing now and still around Clemson and what you're involved with in Clemson.
Yes, I'm here at Clemson still. I'm doing development work, major gifts and engagement work, alumni engagement, which is essentially raising money and taking that Clemson brand out to the outreaches of the country. I kind of focus on California and Arizona with what I'm doing, and so I'm back here. Been here almost 11 years and enjoying it and enjoying some good football here at Clemson right now.
After that national championship is a little easier to sell, huh?
Yes, it is. People are calling here saying, how could they help?
Yeah.
Which is a lot different than, than what it's been.
That's right.
All right. We appreciate you joining us, Patrick. Once again, folks, that's Patrick Sapp, one of the NFL greats right here. Thank you again, sir, for joining us. We come back, we're going to have the shoot around right here on the Walk-Ons.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you.
Thanks, Patrick.
All right, thank you guys. Have a good night.
All right.
Bye. That was dope.
Yeah.
Brian Dawkins' speech.
Is Real Bluff gonna be good this year, or they gonna be?
We're gonna see.
But I know they had some bomb food, so I'm definitely gonna make it to that game.
That guy's committed to that running game, pound and ground. So we'll see if it pays off in year two.
You gotta have a running back to do that,
Yeah.
and the offensive line.
We're gonna see.
Nah, what Fort Mill look like?
The guy was
They
successful.
got any skill players back from last year?
I ain't checked Fort Mill yet.
They was decent last year, right? They made a good run in the
They was
playoffs.
all right last year.
Yeah, made a good run. They ran into dun dun dun. They ran into that powerhouse up there.
Then it's like, oh, yeah.
They ran into Dorchester, right? They lost to Dorchester.
Was it Dorchester? It's been a minute.
No, who did Fort Dorchester didn't make the finals, or did they?
Dutch Fort knocked out Fort Dorchester.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought. Yeah.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Walk-Ons. Again, go to our website, www.freethinkersradio.com. Also, check our YouTube page at Freethinkers Radio. Follow us on all the social media platforms you see on the side. All the podcasts are available: iHeart, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, SoundCloud. Social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, we're everywhere. High School Game Day next Friday, August 17th. Live and direct. Gary and Robbie going to be your hosts.
Sir,
All
looking
right.
forward
River
to it.
Bluff versus Fort Mill. Hey, if you want to sponsor the Walk-Ons or High School Game Day or any of the shows on Freethinkers, inboxes, get at us. If you want to be a guest on the show, inboxes. You can be right up here with us. But right now, let's get into the shoot around. All right. Normally I do a power recap. It's been a minute since I seen you. Anybody seen Power?
I saw
I'm not
watched
watching it just so I can binge watch it when it's all over. I hate I don't like
You got
it.
about 2 more seasons, it'll be a wrap. You say you did watch it?
2 more seasons.
I thought it was. I really
be
thought it
over.
was over when I was like, listen. After the last season, when Angela, I just was like, and then they killed Holly so quick. It's just like,
No, Holly had to die. Holly had to
man,
die.
listen, you
bro.
gotta keep
Nah.
the, you
Why
gotta
is it
keep the
every week
antagonist.
you're saying somebody has to die?
Because
on the
Mock got to
show?
die this week. Mock has to die immediately.
Mock?
The lawyer, the Asian prosecutor,
Oh man, but
the one from Tokyo Drift.
yeah, but
Bro.
you knew that was coming.
Bro, he got to go.
But I mean, he came in. He's never had what role has he had where you been like, other than that role where you go, I like this dude.
Yeah, true, I guess.
Okay, so
So you trying to say his
it was
character
doomed.
alone?
It was-
Tasha got to go. Listen.
I mean, but
Oh,
think about
no.
Tasha.
Tasha
Okay,
gotta
Tasha-
go. Why she gotta go?
But you
Listen.
can understand Tasha.
Yeah,
Tasha,
how many bodies Tasha got right now?
it
Chris,
doesn't.
what that got to do with it?
Listen, I'm just saying.
Listen,
Ghost got 1.
It don't
Well,
matter.
1.5.
No.
Because fan like no one.
it's two. It's two. We're
I'm
not
gonna
gonna
give
do that.
him 1.5.
We can't do
Oh,
that.
here
Listen,
we
Tasha.
go.
I'm gonna give him
Tasha
1.5.
lost-
I'm just
Tasha-
saying.
Tasha lost a child.
Listen,
She's lost.
They both lost a child.
Okay, that's true. I'm just saying we can't. I mean,
The lawyer though, really?
he's a cornball. Where do you go from Ghost?
Listen. Ghost a cornball at times too, though. So I guess
I
yeah,
mean, but
whatever.
he's
Here
the
we
guy.
go.
What was that movie with Janet Jackson?
Which one?
When I can't say it on air. When he was like, I just like. Come on, man, y'all gonna make me do that for colored girls? Come on.
I got
And
you.
Dave
got-
know what I'm
I
talking
got
about.
Wait,
right?
was he in? was
Yes,
it-
he was the one that with Janet Jackson. Dave know what I'm talking. Why you over there laughing?
Now I gotta go back and look
Okay,
for it.
but
now.
anyway, See, I watch movies.
I didn't realize it was him.
Y'all know him as Ghost. I know him from that. So it's like, oh, well, he made a major upgrade. I'm like, I'm happy for him. Like, I'm glad he's doing.
But then he's
big
gotta
things.
die.
But
Yeah.
well,
You said
gotta
he's
die.
gotta die. Leave
there's
it to
always
Chris,
somebody that gotta
yeah.
die.
I like
Dre too.
Tommy.
Dre got it. Tommy's stupid.
No, but think about Tommy's role. This guy, whoever who's doing Tommy, he's gonna go do something else.
Oh, Joseph Zakor is a great actor.
He is like the only reason most people probably constantly watch him because you always hear this, man, Tommy, man, your boy Tommy, whether it's good or bad, you go Tommy. I mean Hardwick. I mean, like I said, those
Yep.
two.
Kanan is the homie.
Oh man, come on, man. 50 does his thing.
So
man. 50
so
does
50
it.
don't have to die.
Nah,
50 got the live. He's
50 gonna take everybody out.
It's
I like
his show.
that. Hey, look,
If it wasn't
I like
for
that.
50,
It's
the
his
show,
show.
wouldn't be where it is now.
Listen, I'm just saying.
I think them three help. I really think.
Speaking of, I'm glad you said help. Speaking of help. So this thing going around about this $20 for this field trip that's been going around social media the last 48 hours.
$20
I
for a
saw
fit-
that.
So this girl that she has, I guess, 1 or 2 children, and she with two
Two
children by 2 different
children.
yeah.
Guys,
and she's dating another guy here now.
right?
She asked him for $20 for a field trip for one of the children or both of the children.
Right.
And he's basically stated that's not his responsibility. She needs to contact the children's fathers to get the $20 for that.
Right.
So everyone's been going back and forth as to whether or not he should give her the $20. And if that's his
This is what I don't like
responsibility or
about
not.
social media. Why everybody help other people household? That ain't got if that's how
Well,
he felt.
Well,
it
number
was-
one, why
she
are you
posted-
putting that?
was-
Why are you
was-
putting that on social media?
Well, he
People
put it
want-
on social media
Yeah.
to get people's perspective as to
Why?
like because of her response
Okay,
to
but
him.
if you don't,
So he was
two
trying
ways.
to
This
see-
go 2 ways.
Hmm.
As her, you don't like it, get somebody that will do it. You you don't like it.
Is there nothing sacred between a couple?
That's what I'm saying. Like
No.
no.
Not in 2018.
No.
Not in, well, see what ended up happening was at the end of the text message thread, and it's so funny. I'm not even on social media, and I saw that at the end of the text message thread, she put. I guess they decided they wasn't gonna date anymore at that point.
Where can you go?
Well,
Where do you
good.
go from there?
So that's when it
Good.
got deep.
Because
And his thing is like, should she be mad at him
Yes,
or
because-
should he have gotten upset with?
no, because
Well,
you got
my
to
question would be, how far into the relationship were they? Because
that
don't have
of course
that.
is not gonna be.
Because my homeboy Titus
I'm
said,
not even-
listen,
that-
if you buy the
that
cow, you
makes
got to
it-
feed the cows. And that's how it works.
I'm not
bro.
even gonna get that deep. I'm just gonna say $20. Really?
Bruh.
At some point, you just go, here. it's
well,
20.
no, that makes the whole
no.
whole
See,
situation, because if they've been dating a week and now, hey, I have 2 kids, I need some help with the field trip. No, it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
Tell me,
it
please
can't-
tell me you
okay,
watching right now.
if
so
we're-
it-
Please tell me you watching
if
right
we're
now.
in a
Shannon, please tell me you
relationship,
watching.
then yeah,
What's the
I'm
difference?
going to help you out.
because it's
and your
2018. A
kids.
relationship mean you know what that means,
A
right?
relationship does not
No.
mean 1 week.
No, but you know
That's
what that
not a
means.
relationship.
No, you know what that mean, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so basically, you rent.
That's not a relationship.
But that's the relationship of 2018. We're not talking about
What you say, Opie? You renting?
you renting. So
Oh my
if this is one of the features, the
Robbie,
boop,
help me
when you
out
hit the
here.
button, boop, that's the one.
I got
Boop, I need $20. But it's, I mean,
That's hilarious.
come on, man.
You have to be. If I'm going to help
Like-
you out, then we're in a relationship. Because other than
That's
that,
old value. That's my values. That's values. I'm using. We're
If-
not talking about this because
if
why
you
would you
need
even put it
money
on
for-
social media?
Exactly. But if you need money for a field trip to help your children,
$20.
then go to your parents, go to someone. Don't go to just someone that you've been seeing a week.
If she get, I'm sure that's
let me check
that's
these
no-
comments now.
that's no
Gary,
rubber.
always
They
So
coming-
better
she
be
felt
agreeing with me.
comfortable.
Listen, Tammy, Shannon,
Enough
please.
to ask him. Yeah.
if you
Brenda
do it-
says stop, Gary.
if it's no rubber, then you
Why do I have to
$20.
stop, Brenda?
$20.
Listen, all right, folks. We come back. We're gonna have the Clemson chat that Robbie got for us this week. We're gonna talk a little bit about the Hall of Fame, give our thoughts and opinions on it,
$20.
and we're gonna get up out of here.
$20.
Brenda, have you ever been in a relationship? I got a question for Brenda. So
Yeah.
Brenda, and Brenda
Listen.
needs to respond too,
But $20?
because
Was it
Brenda,
20
if I
per
was
child,
dating
Chris?
you
Do you
for a
remember?
week, Brenda,
I don't remember.
And she didn't ask him for it. She actually said she wanted to borrow it. And he was like,
even worse,
no.
like-
He was like, I think the response was something like, I don't loan money unless it was, I wouldn't loan money to somebody to help take care
$20?
of their kids unless it was my wife. Like, I mean, some people have
No, you can't.
rules to that though. Like
It's
some
not
people
rules.
don't loan money.
How you gonna do it? Listen, I guarantee it was no plastic at this point in the relationship.
Well,
and y'all
I'm
know
gonna
what I'm
tell
talking
you.
about because I don't want to be. I
He's
just
cheap.
want.
Time to move on.
So if you can do it without plastic at this point, you can loan her $20.
You don't.
'Cause
I
you
don't
already
know.
taking
We
a
don't
risk,
know.
bro.
You're already taking a
Because
risk
you know she heard us, so you taking this risk every day,
every
bruh.
day.
But
Come
you
on.
don't know that
I'm
they
not
was that
going
far
to do
in.
it. I want to know how
She
far
got
they
it
were.
2018.
My nigga, for her to be that comfortable, just be like, yo, I need 20. For somebody
No,
else,
people do that.
they got to be comfortable with each other. Was what I'm saying.
But it still
You
don't
do that?
necessarily mean they
You
had
do
to
that?
be having a
do that?
that type of
You do that?
relationship.
Do you do
Probably Brenda,
Do you do
because
that?
Brenda's
See,
going to hire
a
me for
weekend to-
$20.
Do you
Okay.
do that?
How
Hold
far
on.
into a
Do you do
relationship would that be cool?
Do I do what?
Do you do that?
Do
What
I
you-
ask people for money?
what you just said?
What?
You agree with me?
You ask. So you ask anybody for $20.
Oh
you
no,
wonder what
I'm
type of
not
other
asking
studio
for no
audience people-
money.
So how you gonna take up for somebody?
Welcome
something
back
that you
again.
don't-
No, I
Make sure you
ain't-
follow
I'm
us
not
on our social
taking
media
up
platforms
for
on the
it.
side of the screen. You can see them: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, iHeartRadio, Spotify, SoundCloud. Everywhere you can find it. You can find us www.freethinkersradio.com. All the Freethinkers Radio shows air every Sunday, 7 p.m., 95.9 Millennium FM, and the podcast will drop the next day. Every Friday, we drop the playlist for you. But right now,
$20.
I wouldn't have.
hold
I
on,
didn't-
pause. We got to get to the Clemson chat. We got to get to our Clemson chat. Sarah, let's roll it.
I'm Robbie Kiner with this week's Clemson Chat. Today we'll take a look at Clemson's 11th opponent of the season, the Duke Blue Devils. In 2017, Duke posted a 7-6 mark, which included a quick lane bowl victory over Northern Illinois. They returned 7 starters offensively and 7 starters defensively. Offensively, they returned junior quarterback Daniel Jones. He's a third-year starter, but he did have a bit of a sophomore slump last year. He's looking to bounce back in a big way this year, as he does return his 3 top wide receivers and his top tight end. Defensively, they returned linebacker Joe Giles Harris. He had 125 stops a year ago, which was good enough for earning some All-American honors. David Cutcliffe is in his 10th season as head coach. He helped the Devils earn their first bowl victory since 1960 in 2015 when he won the Pinstripe Bowl. Duke has actually been to bowl 5 of the last 6 years. which is great considering this team only has 13 bowl appearances in their history. And Duke is making their first trip to Death Valley since 2008. They haven't won there since 1980, and I look for that to continue to be the case after this year's contest. Join us Tuesday night for the Walk-Ons and next week for more Clemson Chat.
All right, that was Robbie's Clemson Chat. This was a good one, as always.
Robbie, when is Clemson going to play someone? BC the week before, Duke this week. Oh,
hey,
my
BC
God.
is a trap
we
game for
test
them all the
ourselves
time.
at a non-conference. We go to Texas A&M. Why
And
don't y'all
then he
play
said,
somebody in the
then he said
non-conference?
BC needed
No
divine
BCS
intervention.
teams in the
Oh my
non-conference.
goodness
Come on.
gracious.
You could tell you went to USC. Like, where's the hate at?
Well, through and through.
I'm just
When
calling
y'all
it
gonna
like
win?
it
When y'all gonna win
is.
the SEC first?
I'm just calling it like it is.
When y'all gonna be irrelevant?
One division win in 25 years,
Wow.
26 years, 30 years, whatever it is.
Make sure you tune in every Tuesday for the Clemson Chat. Next week, also tune in. Food Tripping, we're going to be at Stella's at Arco. Shout out to Stella's. Everybody out there, team, they took good care of us when we recorded that this weekend.
USC gonna be good this year?
They're going to
Yeah.
be good.
I never
Great,
heard.
no, good, yes.
I never heard of one
9
team
and
lose
3-ish
one
is
player and
is
just
the
mess up the
max.
whole season.
You said 9-3?
That's the max, yep.
Then the SEC, like
All right.
SEC East is
8
pretty
and
weak.
4.
Until somebody
Seven
beats
and
Georgia,
four.
that says
we're
a lot about
undefeated,
them.
and we're going to stay that way.
Undefeated.
That's right.
Zero.
He said
0.
until somebody
Until
beats
someone
him.
beats us.
Y'all
See,
beating y'all
People aren't
already.
going to take your prediction seriously, Gary, because you got your fan hat on too much.
All right.
Listen, speaking of fans, who was a fan of the speeches for the Hall of Fame?
What Hall of Fame?
The NFL Hall of Fame.
I didn't watch
Brian-
TOs, but I liked Ray Lewis and Brian Dawkins
T.O. had one.
and Randy
Tio had his own
Moss.
thing in his old high school. He went back in his own little.
And Randy Moss shared
The
his
TO
faith.
of fame, yeah.
I was surprised at how much Randy Moss was really sharing his faith.
And Randy Moss was super woke with his tie as well. He made sure that.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
brought the intensity. They all brought the
Did
intensity.
you
can
expect
tell.
anything different from Randy Moss, though?
No,
I don't think so.
I'm just saying. I'm
You
just
can
saying.
tell what
No.
makes these guys tick. What makes them great because they are, extremely motivated.
Reverend
come
Ray
out
came
there.
out there. The internet
Talk
already took
about
his
what
video
motivated them
and
to get
added
where
the
they are.
church organs to it. Listen, it's perfectly placed too.
Hey, but that was great. He didn't need any notes. He was walking around. He had the
Ray Lewis is
microphone on.
probably, aside from all the extracurricular antics, I would say one of the top motivational speakers.
Oh yeah.
I
Like,
like.
if you don't want to run through a wall after you listen to
I
Ray Lewis
like.
give
I
a
like.
speech, I don't know what's
I
wrong
liked
with you.
them until he took up for something that just.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you take the antics out of it and we go strictly on the actual doing of the motivational speaking, cool. No, but the
Yeah,
antics,
they-
then it's
they-
like, nah,
you
I'm
gotta
cool
put
on
some
that.
church music behind that, just like they did, because I like my boy Drake. So now, why are they going
Here
to
we
go
go. Here we go.
and change Kiki, do you love me, to Jesus, do you love me?
Yes, I
In the
saw that.
church.
Did you see the choir do that?
The choir did that in the church.
I'm not on social media.
They are now bringing the club into the church.
That
They
ain't
been
nothing
doing
new.
that.
They been, yeah, exactly.
Oh Lord,
Kirk
have
Franklin with the
mercy.
pink on, talking about stomp. Come on, man.
Listen. That's-
Reverend
that's
talking about you go to the club and do it. Why don't you come here and give us
Wait, what
your
they
money?
said, Gary? What did they say? What they said? What's
I
the
wish we
word?
had this video for y'all. I wish we did.
Only thing I've been on lately is DL Hughley. My guy DL, I'm so proud of him. I followed
gosh.
DL since the beginning of his career, and what he's talking about is really put into words greatly of what we should do. I always feel like they don't speak of Malcolm and Marcus Garvey a lot in our history because of what they did and what they accomplished. They did, and I just feel like we sit back a lot versus do. I mean, in order for somebody to really respect you, especially when they've been bullying you so long, they have to fear you at some point.
Listen, I got a whole deep dive on Malcolm and Martin.
Oh, yeah.
But that's for all fair. But
Oh, yeah.
I got listen.
But yeah, I've been so heavy on that and old Patrice O'Neal clips. So
Patrice O'Neal underrated.
oh yeah, very.
Yo, but y'all heard Memphis Bleak coming to the city on
The
the,
whole
21st.
rock, the whole rock. So I make sure I'm out of town for that.
South House ENT. Make sure y'all follow that. Memphis Bleak will be here on the 21st
I
along
just-
with J&B.
I just feel like something hopefully good happens, but I'll hear about it.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. They got details to be announced. Listen, it's gonna be fire.
The last time somebody that big came
the whole
was
Rock
Janet
Nation?
Jackson. When was that? Janet Jackson came here. That's the last time somebody big came. Late 80s, early 90s.
Well, me, yeah,
Janet Jackson was just
according
here
to this-
last year.
If you're talking about
She was here
legacy,
last
She
year?
was just
yeah.
here.
If you're talking about a legacy,
Okay,
acting,
Janet
yeah.
Jackson, not 50-year-old having a kid, Janet. We talking about control Janet. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah. If you're talking about legacy acting, yeah, Janet.
See,
Yeah.
Megan,
More
if I
recently,
had said
Bruno was
something
here
like
2
that,
years
you
ago.
would be
What?
all
Oh,
over
yeah,
me.
Bruno was here.
I just shook
That was a
my
dope show,
head.
too.
I
Oh,
guess
man, I like
open
Bruno.
to the
Yeah.
box that
What?
you in.
What happened?
Not 50-year-old Janet having babies.
He's just making he's just differentiating between the
it's
two.
Like she's more because she's mother now. She's not.
So because she became a mother, or are you saying her age?
No, you see how she threw that in my mouth? No, what am
no,
I saying?
I said,
I'm
or
just
are you
saying.
saying because of her age?
He's just saying, in
not 'cause
general.
She's got to
what
give
she's
it
at
to
a
you
diff-
because she gave it to
She's
me
still
about
sexy.
Serena Williams. So
Yeah.
She's still.
Who said the
You-
pregnancy
Wait,
is
gotta get it.
what may be
Yeah,
part
I
of the
never
problem?
He basically tried to say that Serena wasn't Serena no more because she had a baby.
See,
But she
I'm
just
saying-
said,
I'm
but
just
she
saying
came
she's-
out this week and
hold on.
said that might be part of the problem.
And she's
No,
talking about
she
postpartum
making
depression
it-
now and
No,
everything.
she.
all that.
I don't know.
Because you got people like Gary who put it out there.
Look.
She probably like, well, let me ride this wave.
Speak your
'cause
truth,
this wasn't
Gary.
one of my
but see,
best
that-
seasons.
that's what
all
I
I'm
was
saying
hoping
is-
you would bring this topic up because I'm going to tell
Tabby,
you.
please tell me you watch it right
Let me
now.
get mine out first.
Did you watch this last match that she played?
Was she
Because
terrible?
we were set 6-1, 6-love, and
All right.
she didn't win it.
Let's try to end on a
It's,
little bit of a positive note. I just saw this on social media. It says use your social media platform as a blessing. Use it to value instead of devalue.
I do. All 30 people.
Listen,
I value
Yep.
that
exactly.
follow me.
Instead of Kiki, do you love me? Jesus, do
Because
you love me?
the other
Because a lot
folks,
of y'all need Jesus.
the other 470 are what them things called? Them little fake accounts.
Little spam accounts, bro. I hate them things, bro.
I got a bunch
Listen,
of spam. Shout out to my
Every
spam
Tuesday,
followers.
for myself, Gary,
You've
Robbie,
reached.
Opie, Megan. Listen, shout out to Marcus. He out this day, but hey, we'll see y'all next week.